5 feline steps to world domination.
Hello, good people of OpenArt. I'm super excited to finally be able to share with you OpenArt Story. I know we've been teasing you all last week. There's a lot to cover. Basically, what OpenArt Story is a new way to develop short form content and where you can basically bring your ideas to life. Now, full disclaimer, at the time of recording this video, I'm still on the test site, so there might be some small differences by the time we launch. So just keep that in mind. Now, when you log into the main homepage, you'll see the selections here. We have explainer video, music video, character vlog. Or you can open up the menu and you'll see one-click story right here on the left. And you'll also see another option where you can start from scratch. This is going to give you the most control. Now in today's video, I'm going to give you an overall look at OpenArt Story just to get you started. But fear not, I'm going to have dedicated videos for all of these sections and really go in depth. So make sure to tune in for those videos. For starters, let's try character vlog. We're going to go ahead and click create. And here you can select a previously trained character that you already have from your character library, or you can select from the pre-trained OpenArt ones. And whether you're a beginner or advanced user, this is so simple to use. I'm going to go ahead and click on Milo here. We now see this area is populated with the character. You'll notice the character is highlighted with an @ that just means that the character is active. And I'm going to just put in a simple prompt. Milo is exploring the beautiful streets of Paris. Just below it, we have our aspect ratio. You could pick between 16:9 or 9:16 if you want to do Instagram Reels, TikToks, that type of thing. And then you can select the background music. If you leave it on auto select, it's going to choose from the built-in library. However, there are several options. You can use Suno Music. You can type in a link here. And make note of the URL examples here. It has to end with song or S. And if you're familiar with Suno, all you have to do is go to the song, click on the 3 dots on the right. You should have an option here, share, and simply click on copy link. Then you want to simply just paste in that link and you'll notice the S here. That's all you need. Click confirm and you're good to go. There is an option to upload a song as well. You basically just have to click here and import it or drag and drop. There's also a music here to choose from our music library. And you can preview any one of these by clicking on the play button or hovering over it. Into the advanced setting, if we click on the drop down here, this is where you can select the image and the video model. Now, if you're using a character, I'd suggest for you to leave it on character or use flux context. This will ensure that the character stays consistent. You could experiment with the GPT models as well, and Flux Dev is also available. Under the video model section, you'll have all the available video models on OpenArt. Now, once you're done, all you have to do is click on create. It costs 1,000 credits for character vlogs. Explainer video and music videos are 1,500 credits, regardless of the model you use. So if you use Kling 2.1 Pro, the cost doesn't change at least at the time of recording this video. It'll take roughly 3 to 5 minutes for the story to generate. You can get out of that screen and create other images or create other stories, totally up to you. Just know that you can access all your stories from the main page by clicking View All right here, and you'll also see some community stories that you can check out too. I'm going to select View All here. On this screen, you'll have options to edit, share, download, or delete. Once you click the story, at the top you'll see the kind of story that you generated, the title, again, share and download buttons, and you'll even see your original prompt here. Further down, we have the generation details, tells you the background music, image model, and video model that was used. This also acts as a viewer, so obviously you can press play here. There's a volume button, and you can maximize the size here. Click on the three dots for more options, and you can also download here, adjust the playback speed, or do picture-in-picture. Before I show you the Edit Story button, let's go ahead and review this. So as you can see, it's super easy to create these short form stories. However, for those of you that want more control, this is where we can do some editing. So if you click on Edit the Story, you'll be brought into the editor. Now it says timeline view here and list view. That might change by the time we launch this video. It may change to storyboard and editor. Not sure if that's going to happen, but if it does, at least you heard it first from me. I'm not going to go into all the details right now. I'm going to save it for the end of the video because there's so much to go over. But basically, this acts as a simple video editor. And then list view is more like storyboarding, where you have control over the prompts. You can generate on this screen both images and video, and you can manipulate the prompts any which way you want. And then once those adjustments are made, you can go back to your timeline and everything will be updated. I do want to share with you one more tip on using character vlogs. I've selected this cute penguin character called Nina. And you'll notice my prompt is much longer here. And I want to stress that you don't always have to have a simple prompt, but when you do that, you leave a lot of room for interpretation, so the results may not be exactly what you want. However, it does help to put a little bit more detail in your prompt. And you want to think of the scenes. Like, let's say you have 5 to 8 scenes that are very specific. For example, in the beginning here, I have the character Nina preparing for the Animal Olympics. She starts off by exercising and training. And then you want to ensure that you're telling Story Builder there's another scene to come. So use words like, then the next scene she's racing against other animals in the 100-meter dash. The following scene she is racing, yada, yada, yada. You get my point. So you always want to indicate that there's a change happening to increase the chances that you get the output that you want. So now let's take a look at how this turned out. As you can see, out of all the clips, I probably would only change 1 or 2. There's 8 clips in total here, but it had everything from Nina preparing for the Olympics here. She was racing against other penguins, not necessarily other animals, but perhaps we could be a bit more specific there. We had her celebrating on the podium, and of course, to finish it off, popping champagne. Now, one other thing that I wanted to mention is that you can actually upload a reference image by clicking on Custom. You could simply just drag and drop your reference image here, give your character a name, and click Create Character. Now you'll see it here. If you do this, it's not going to save the character once the story is created. So at the very least, if you want to reuse the character, it's best to use the character training feature. And if we look at the model that it chooses, it uses flux context to keep that character consistent. Moving right along, let's take a look at Explainer Video. We're going to go ahead and click Create. And this feature allows you to do videos with narration. There's a few ways where you can approach this. You can simply put in a simple prompt like this. In my case, a comedic version on how to train a dragon. And when you go ahead and create the story, it's going to go ahead and make a script for you as long as this toggle is on. Or if you have something a bit more in depth, you can leave this toggle on to brush up the script for you. The other method is clicking on Create Script with AI, and you basically do the same thing. Put in a general idea. If you notice here, you're only allowed up to 100 characters, so you don't need too much detail. This is otherwise known as ideal to video. Put your idea in here, and then it's going to generate a script. We'll go ahead and do that, and voila, we have a ready-made script for us to use for narration. Currently, there's only a few styles: photorealistic, animation, microworld, crayon pixel art, Ghibli style, and cyberpunk. We'll likely add more very soon. Also, you can click on custom and enter a very brief description of the style that you want, and your video will be made in that specific style. Now in this case, I'm going to click animation, and it leans towards 3D Pixar style when you select this. Right below is where you can choose the voices, and you can click on play to preview them.
Edit, remix, and iterate. OpenArt lets you build a visual story, not...
For this demo, I'll select Puck. Not to jump ahead, but we are going to add more voices and perhaps integrate something like 11 Labs or similar. That's soon to come. And the rest of the controls are basically the same. You can adjust your aspect ratio. You can also choose your background music the same way we did with the character vlog. And under advanced settings, you'll see the same image and video models available. Once you're done, go ahead and click Create Story. And after about 5 minutes, you'll be able to preview your video. Let's take a look at how to train your dragon in 37 seconds.
Welcome to Dragon Taming 101, where fire meets facepalm. Step 1. Locate a dragon. Look for the big scaly thing flopping in the mud like a drunk butterfly. Offer a snack, ideally something tastier than your left boot. Now for commands: sit, stay, flap, expect sizzling sarcasm. Onto flame control, one sneeze and goodbye eyebrows. Ready to ride, buckle up, dragons land like falling anvils. Training complete, deliver a gentle head pat, fingers crossed. Congratulations, you're certified, at least until your pupil rewrites the rules.
Next, we're going to take a look at music video. We're going to click on Create, and you'll see that there are 3 options: Style, Story, and Sing. The first thing you want to do is drag in your music, or once again, paste a Suno link. I'm going to go ahead and drag in my music here. And here is where we can increase or decrease the duration of the song. At this time, there is a maximum of only 1 minute. And I know some of you will be whining and complaining, oh, 1 minute, blah. But let me remind you, the current maximum length of something like Kling 2.1 is 10 seconds. So this is a step in the right direction. And I promise you in phase 2, we're going to figure out how we can do full music videos. I am going to do a video probably in a few days specifically on music videos and how you can achieve a full music video. So stay tuned for that as well. Back to our song here. I've increased it to 1 minute, and then we can simply preview it here.
Sunrise hits my skin like a firelight show, mirror shining back.
And if you want to pick another part of the song, you just have to drag this left or right, or you can use shortcut keys that are displayed right here. So I'm going to start from the beginning, and let's go ahead and click confirm. And now we see the song is loaded. You can also select just random ones from the music library if you just want to kind of try it out. But I think most of you are going to upload your own songs anyway. Now there are 3 types of music videos: Style, Story, and Sing. If we click on Style, it's going to reveal a bunch of styles. By default, it's set to auto style, so it's going to detect the genre of your song and pick the best one for you. Or you can select from all the various ones: Y2K, Rock Haze, Midnight Blues Soul if you're into blues and jazz. There's quite a few here to select from, and once again, we're likely going to add more styles. There is an option for custom, so just like we did in the explainer video, I'm just going to do a really quick demo. We're going to select Y2K Collage, and we have the same controls: aspect ratio, advanced settings. Now for the sake of time, I'm just going to play a snippet of this music video created.
I feel golden, golden, brighter than the sun, dancing through the shadows, I'm the only one.
Next, if we take a look at Story, If you scroll down a little bit here, you see Auto Story. Once again, it's going to detect your song and come up with a story based on a combination of the lyrics and the vibe. There is another option called One Star Story, and this is where you can introduce, once again, one of your characters, a custom character by uploading a reference image or one of the preset characters. For this example, I'm going to pick this character. Her name is Tara. And under story topics, this is where you can enter your prompt, just like the character vlogs where you can really steer the visuals that you want. With that being said, I'm just going to leave it blank and see what it comes up with.
Well, I'm on my knees and I pray to you, 'cause Lord, I know not what I do. I think of life and eternity as I'm on my knees here at Gethsemane, 'cause I'm on my knees here at Gethsemane. Set me free. I just wanna run, I wanna hide my shame. I just wanna live without no blame. Wipe away my tears and my anxiety. Looking to forgive, looking to set me free. Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, I was really happy with the original video it created, but I was more intrigued about doing some small edits to make it look a bit presentable. So it's a little rough considering there was no prompt put in and the visuals were created just by the song lyrics and the character. That's pretty darn impressive. And the last category for music videos is called Sing. This is basically lip syncing. Note as well the beta tag here. This is something that we're still fine tuning. But if we scroll down, you see we have the same character selections. We have our aspect ratios here. And under advanced settings, this is where you'll find the various lip sync models. Currently, the one we have now is Hydra and OpenArt Singing. You'll have to experiment to see which works best for you. Now, I will say there is another model that we're currently working on that I hope is available by the time you're watching this video. If not, just know that it's coming. I'm not going to play the whole song. Let's watch maybe like 10 to 20 seconds.
Use OpenArt to voice our story. Let every thought become music's glory. Words take flight.
Now, for those of you that want ultimate control, we have the Scratch Editor. Let's click on that. This dialog box is going to pop up and you'll have two selections. You can write and generate, which is the list view or storyboard mode, or upload and edit timeline view. So this is if you have previous images or video clips that you just want to upload and kind of arrange them in the editor. I'm going to start off with write and generate. Starting from the top, you have your title area here. I'm just going to put test. You could rename it, your undo, redo, and your save button. At any time, you could switch between timeline view and list view. On the top right corner, you have preview and share. We'll talk about share a little bit later. And just like the other modes, you have your image and video models at the bottom. And these options are if you want to kind of generate all your images and all your video in one shot once you have everything laid out. I'll get back to that in a second. And the way this works is that the left side is for images, the right side is for video. If we click on add image here, you'll see you can upload your image or from previous generations from your create page. But you could also just simply type in a prompt here. So I'm just going to type in Pixar style dragon on a mountain. I'm going to make sure I'm using Flux context, and you can go ahead and click create. And once it's finished generating, you can click on the square here to view it full size. That looks kind of cool. And then if you wanted to animate it, you could simply type in your video prompt here and click on create video. To add another section on your storyboard, you simply just have to click Add New Slot, and then it'll add another slot, and you could even move these around by just grabbing the corner to adjust the order. The other way you can utilize the storyboard is, let's say you have a whole bunch of other prompts. So I've got a prompt here and a prompt here, and let's assume I have video prompts as well. You'll notice here it says generate all images, 5 times 3 equals 15. So every image costs 5 credits. Since I have 3 image prompts here, I could just generate them all at the same time. And it works the same way for video. At this point, I'm going to switch to a project that's already done so that you can see how it looks in storyboard mode and editor mode. Whether you start from scratch or edit an existing video, this is where you can really fine-tune your video. Let's be honest, AI can be kind of chaotic sometimes, where maybe your character is walking backwards, or perhaps the output isn't exactly what you expected. Within the editors where we can really fine-tune things. As you can see on my storyboard, I have all my images and videos laid out here, and I can select any one of these to change the scene. For example, I didn't really like the original image here because the character had like a whistle in front of his mouth, but he wasn't actually holding it, and he also has a dragon tail, which it's kind of cute, but I was like, well, let's try something else. So I was able to regenerate the image to this one here, and we see him holding the whistle. It looks more believable, right? Now, if you take a look at the bottom, you see that I generated 3 other images, and whichever one you want to use will have this blue check mark. Then you can go ahead to this side and retry the video. And as you can see by my thumbnails here, I did 2 extra videos just to get some variation. Let's switch over to the timeline view and or edit view. And on the left panel, this is where all your assets are going to be. So if I click on these thumbnails, this is going to give me a preview of all the videos that I've generated. There's an add button here, so if you wanted to create a new video from the timeline, you can do that. You can upload an existing video that you might have locally or from your previous generations. On the right of it is where your image assets will be, so these are just the images if you want to take a quick look at your gallery here. Then there's a section for the music, which is typically the background music. You can click on the search button here and select from the library. And there are also filter options for genre, mood, and tempo. If you select browse, it works the same way. And then at the bottom is what's known as the timeline. This is where all your assets are going to be organized. The top is where your video clips will be. The blue tracks here are narration, and the purple is your background music. When you select any one of these, you'll see on the right panel, you now have more options. At the very top, because I have video selected, it's got video highlighted, but you could switch between still image and script as well. I'm going to go back to video, and you'll notice that it gives you the video prompt. So even here, you can adjust your prompt and redo the video. And just like in list view, you'll see any regenerations that you've done here, and you can select them just by clicking on them. You have a video speed. You'll notice this is at 1.08. Now this happens because it adjusts according to the background music. So you may find some scenes might seem sped up. This is where you can adjust that. But if we take a look at the preview screen here at 1.08 speed, it looks normal. So I wouldn't really make any adjustments there. And then we have the video volume. In the same sense, if I select the narration clip right down here, you see that we have the narration script at the top, the audio volume, the audio speed, fade in and fade out. And you guessed it, if I click on the background music, we get options for audio volume, audio speed, fade in and fade out as well. Now in terms of adjusting the timeline, there's a couple things you can do. On the right here, we'll adjust your timeline view. So if I bring it all the way to 200%, it zooms into the clips to give you a bit more space to work with. If I bring this back down to 50%, it'll be set to its default settings. I'm going to increase this a little bit here. If I select the clip, let's say I want to make an adjustment and I find that it's too long, you can just grab the handle here and you see now it says 2.9 seconds. Now I've decreased the duration of this clip. But mind you, the narration and the music's going to be off, so you have to make adjustments for that as well. I'm just going to set it back to its original position. Now, if you decide that, it's a little too fast and I want to put it back at its regular speed, just note that you do have to make adjustments for that change. So now, theoretically, your clip's going to be a little bit longer, so it's no longer going to match your original narration. Now, if you don't have narration, you don't have to worry about that. You just have to adjust it with the music. We'll set that back once again. But another thing you can do is rearrange your clips. Let's say I wanted this clip after the fact. You see it says insert before, insert after. I can go ahead and do that. And now we've swapped clips. Maybe I want to go to the end here and I want to adjust the fade out to only, let's say, 1 second. I can do that at any time. You could also drag assets onto the timeline. You see I've added this asset right here. I'm going to delete that. And it works the same way with music. Let's say I didn't like this track. I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to put in a different song. Maybe I select this one instead. You see now that it's got a green highlight. I'm going to hit back and then I can slide this underneath. But you'll notice the music track is way too long. So all we need to do is grab the end of it and make the adjustment. We'll slide it over. There we go. And now everything matches up with the new track. At any time, you can click on preview to see how it looks with your changes.
Welcome to Dragon Taming 101, where
So it added the new music and I noticed the music is super loud. So I'd come back here and adjust the audio volume to something like, 40, 30, 40%, whatever it is. And then when you're happy with the project, make sure you've named it and then click on share. Obviously, you can download it. Now it gives you the last export option so that maybe you wanted to keep a copy of it, or you can export again and download. So basically it's going to render the new changes that you've made, whether they're video clips or audio, and it's going to download the latest version. Here you can select remove watermark, and then you have your typical options to copy the link, share to social media, and if you select publish, it's going to post it on the community page. So here you're going to see what all our beta testers have done and some of the examples. There's not a lot right now at the time of recording this video, but eventually you're going to see other people's work. Now, having this editor is a really big plus as it keeps you on the platform and you can do, I'd say 80-90% of the work. If you want sound effects for now, you may have to do some post-production on your own. If you want complete editing control, then you need to use something like CapCut, Premiere, DaVinci Resolve. Not to say that we won't improve this in the future. With that being said, rest assured, we know there are things that you've been asking about, like multi-character, sound effects, better voices. There's so many things that we still want to add to it. And we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So if you have any feature requests, now's the time to ask. I do want to acknowledge, of course, our amazing beta testers who helped us get to this point. A lot of them gave some valuable feedback and helped us identify a lot of the bugs. And if there are any more, rest assured, we're going to address them as well. Of course, a special shout out to the OpenArt team, the engineers, the devs, design. Everybody was hands on deck these last few months, especially these last few weeks, to bring you OpenArt Story. Now stay tuned for the next video that's going to be brought to you by Helena. She's going to do a video dedicated to character vlogs using OpenArt Story, and she has a special announcement. As always, my friends, until the next video, happy creating.